For public record, please state your name.
Anybody on Zoom that would like to make public comment, please raise your hand. And you can make your public comment for up to 3 minutes. Or press *9. Eloise?
Hello. So good evening. This is Eloise Shum calling. And I just wanted to mention that today I was walking in the morning on Fremont Street, excuse me, and I saw some young men that apparently are homeless near the 7-Eleven across from Wendy's, and also across the street from there. Anyway, they did look like they were homeless to me. And you probably know who Wes White is, but on Tuesday, he said that a lot more homeless people will probably be around because they shut down the marina. They did the sweep. They've done a number of sweeps. And then there's another man near the Panda, an elderly man near the Panda restaurant, and he has push carts that he puts his stuff in. He's homeless. Anyway, I'm just saying that I think that somebody from the Homeless Commission or from Seaside PD should get some vouchers or something for them because it's cold. And, somebody should go out and make sure that they have some kind of voucher or a motel to stay in or something because it's cold. So I know you're allocating a lot of money for, well, not a lot, but some money for the Notre, Buena people. And that's good. But also, they'll probably be getting a lot of stuff from Salvation Army and other nonprofits. But these men, they were kind of young too. They look very forlorn and like nobody's taking care of them. And so I think that you as the Homeless Commission should do something about that. That's my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Eloise. Any other members of the public that would like to make public comment, you can raise your hand or press *9 on your phone. There's no indication of any other members of the public who'd like to make comments, so we can continue.
Very well. Moving along to the approval of the minutes from the July 22nd, 2021 Homeless Committee meeting. Have the commissioners been able to review the minutes? Can we open up to discussion? Is there any discussion on the matter? Very well. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Very well. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Very well. All in favor say aye of approving the minutes from July 22nd, 2021. Aye. Any opposed say nay.
So we have a first by Mugen and a second by Felice.
Motion passes to approve the minutes. Moving along to business items. Business item A, discuss and vote on allocating between $2,000 and $5,000 of the Homeless Commission annual budget to Casa de Notre Buena Family Shelter to purchase gift cards for the residents' holiday wish list. Recommendation is to allocate part of the Homeless Commission budget to support Casa de Notre Buena Family Shelter residents during the holidays. Is there any discussion on this matter?
So I had sent out a list of the items that they were looking for, included gift cards. So I think that would be great. I don't know if we wanted to also purchase the individual gifts for the residents. I believe I got an updated list from Elsa, the program, her title is program manager over there. So there's one resident that was on the list who's no longer staying with them, but there is a new person staying there. So I'm not sure how feasible it is for us to purchase individual gifts or what the process would be. I know the gift cards would probably be simpler. I don't know if Chief Gutierrez, if you have any insight on how we would go about that.
My suggestion, I want the committee to be the ones to make the decision. Being the staff liaison and being city funds, it would be easiest for me to go out and purchase gift cards that staff could give to the family so they could purchase the items on the list that they sent. And based on the needs, we could determine how much the gift cards could be, but it would be up to me to do it. I think it would be difficult to go out and purchase individual items. I just, in the last few days, I was able to deliver on behalf of the city, the fire department, and the commission, bags of brand new clothing, a lot of things are on the list, and bags of brand new toys for the children. So on behalf of this commission, I did that already to at least get them going for the holidays. So I want you to decide how much money as commission, based on, I know we all got the list, and it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 families there. And most of the items are clothing and basic needs that you would find at a Target or Kohl's or something like that. So I want you to make that decision.
And can you remind us what the full annual budget is?
It's actually, it was my error, it's $5,500,
Okay.
our annual allocation for this fiscal year. So we are 6 months into this fiscal year already.
We have not spent any.
Has any?
No, we have spent nothing to date.
Okay, I don't know if this is the time I should say this, but Odemeyer Center, in this room, we meet on every Monday. We have a knitting crocheting group. That closet that's over there that, I don't want to. We get yarn, and we'll take yarn from anybody, we can use it, except not one. But we have made scarves, hats, fingerless gloves, etc. for everybody. We have everybody in the shelter covered with scarves, hats, etc. Okay. You said one person dropped out. That's okay. I'll talk to there may be more people coming in there too. Okay, so that part of it is covered, but I wanted to let you know that that is our project that we have done every year. And we not only give it to the cancer shelter, we also give it to Gathering Place for Women, and we also, Community Human Services, which is Genesis House, which is here in Seaside, gets it. And we're wrapping on Monday, if anybody wants to come and visit, we'd love to have you help us raffle. And so I've gone down that list that's there. And I've taken care of scarves and hats, so.
Okay, so let's talk about the allocation of how we want to do this. Do we
Yeah.
want to allocate at certain stores? Because I would like to write that down
Yes.
so that I can go out and purchase those gift cards.
I'd like to make a suggestion, especially when it comes to gift cards, when you do put it at a particular store, it makes it, narrows it down what their options and opportunities are. But if they're what I call non-named or they card where it has an extra amount of money, it's a Visa, it's a MasterCard, they have an opportunity to go where the product that they're looking for maybe, because they may not actually have that sales storage. So, yeah, so that way they're able to shop wherever, but yet still be able to.
And yes, buy what they want for their family.
And then are we considering that it will be the same amount for all the families versus like one family needs more or less, just to think in terms of equitable.
Wondering if we could do like a certain amount per person in the family. So if I think it lists how many children maybe with them, so we could choose an amount per child and then do an amount for the adult and then the individual women who are there.
Household.
Yeah, because some families
Yeah.
are larger than others and have more needs.
And then I'm also wondering if maybe we could pick an amount to give directly to, like Elsa, so that they could purchase gifts for the residents. Like if they wanted to do more than a gift card, if they wanted to purchase specific things off of the list, we could give them a certain amount that they could purchase actual items. But I like the Visa or whatever it would be.
Yeah, the only thing to consider with Visa is that they're gonna charge us a fee, right, like a $5.95.
But yeah, we have some that are free lists.
Oh,
You
they
just
do?
have to, yes,
Right.
you have to just be sure which one you get.
Okay, that's cool.
You need to purchase the cards, it's a fee, but not for the person to use it.
Right,
For us to
to
purchase.
purchase.
And
I didn't know any
that
of
would be
them that were
fine,
not.
that would be fine.
Yeah.
Because
Doesn't
if
matter.
that's what's appropriate, then I like your ideas, I'll just say that, that's a great idea. So, there were 7 families, Stacy, do you know how, well, individuals with somewhat families?
Yeah, I have the list. And I updated it, so there's, 5 individual women, and then there are 2 families.
Was it family or not?
No, it was an individual.
4 families, 4,
Oh, no, sorry, it was a family.
it was,
Yeah.
And there will be another one coming in,
Yes, she said there's
pretty sure.
there's potentially 2 families coming, and I think she said 1 other individual.
So up to 3 families and 6 individual ladies.
Up to 4
4
families
families
and
and
6.
Okay, okay.
And then regarding, I think how much total, we haven't done anything yet, so I think we have a large portion of the budget, but I do think that we should reserve some of it for like
Yeah.
members of the public who are giving suggestions as what we should spend it on, and maybe that's something that we can discuss at our next meeting and allow public comment on that, and then we could kind of discuss what other things
Okay,
we might be able to spend it on.
Sure, there would be some potential supports to our outreach activities, such as purchasing care package items, food items, to be able to put them all together. We've been fortunate enough in some ways, as there's been just things here, we can just already pick and choose from that they have in stores or whatnot, or when they have their events and they have extra food, we can actually use it. But we've also had to supplement some things like our own given things, just to, continue the efforts, which is okay. We're happy to do so. But also, as we want to continue this and have to be consistent, we'll need to be able to replenish our supplies and items when we go out there. And so, maybe consider that, even considering Miss Eloise Shim's idea of putting, a voucher program together and, as we're out, basically, we've acknowledged that there's some needs out there when we do outreach as immediate interventions to provide, knowing that we won't be able to put that roof over their head right away. So we could bring that to discussion later on.
very well. So about how much, like, what's the ballpark number that we would be looking to spend for the families at Casa and Notre Buena? And I did have a question. How many total kids would there be after the family comes in?
It's just the Wi-Fi, so I can.
So are we looking at like $100 for adults and maybe 50 for the children? Or-
I was thinking that whatever amount that we gave to each adult, that families with kids would get a little extra for the kids. And I mean, I was even thinking not just for any of the supplies they would need, like toiletries or clothing, but maybe get the kids some Christmas presents this year. I think that might do a lot if that's possible.
That goes to your idea of potentially getting one for Elsa to use kind of to take care of.
Right. And they might have a little bit more flexibility to be able to go, shopping, or they have a volunteer who could go. So I think 100, 100 for each adult and 50 for each child in gift cards. And then
And that
I don't know how much.
the children would be there outside of the world, they have children.
Right. And
You
then
said it's for families or plus the price.
we could give like
$500 to $600.
I'm kind of getting a ballpark amount of close to $1,500 would be the amount. So if there's 6 women plus 3 families, that's 12 adults, $1,200. And if they each have, if there's a total of 6 kids, that's another 300. So 1,500 kind of sounds like the ballpark amount I came up with. Does that sound good to everyone else, or do you think maybe a little bit more, a little less? What are you guys' thoughts?
Can I make a recommendation that, come up with, I like where we're going on the amount, I'm just, as a staff person, so I'm gonna go out and purchase, and I wanna know what I'm purchasing, so they can give the right amount to the right person, that Stacy follow up to see exactly how many women, how many children, and then you guys decide how much you wanna give outside of that to the staff in a separate gift card. So we might end up with, like you said, then 6 gift, or it sounds like 12 gift cards for adults for $100 each, right?
Right.
Okay, so I buy that, and then we have to figure out how many children, right? I don't know what the families have.
yeah, she had it listed.
So, but if you're directing me as a staff person to make sure I got $100 for each adult and $50 for each child, which would go to that same parent, and then to allocate, tell me how much we would give to the shelter to buy additional items to keep them for additional families or toys or needs that we're not aware of. That'll help to guide.
What do you think about $50 extra per person to give to the shelter? So
1,800 total. If there's 6 kids, another 300 for like a $1,800 total.
I'm getting a little bit confused with the math.
Sorry,
So,
I apologize.
Well, so what I'm thinking is, so to give gift cards just to the family, so it would be like we said, 100 per adult and 50 per child. And then separately, we would give a large gift card that came out to $50 per person who's in the shelter to give to the shelter that they could then purchase Christmas gifts with. And I think I want to do a quick count just to see how many people she has listed right now total, which is 5 single individual women plus a family that has 1 adult and 1 child. That's 2 more. And then another family that has 1 adult and 3 children, so that's 4 more. And then she thinks that there is, and then she thinks that there are potentially a few new ladies and families who will join. But they don't have, they have a family of 3 coming on the 13th of December, so that's 3 more. And then potentially a family of 4 coming on the 21st. So that's 18 total.
$900.
Another $900. So plus if we wanted them to have their individual gift cards too.
it would increase.
Yes.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So I'm counting 9 adults, is that what you have? Is that the 5 single women?
Yeah, 9 adults
9.
and 9 children.
9 or 10?
I have 9.
9, okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 adults is $900, right? And then how many children?
9.
9 children, that's half of that, right?
Mhm.
Once a baby.
It's 450.
Yep. So that's
13.
So 2250.
Yep.
Total. And we have 5,500 for the full budget, so. That's good. Reasonable to me, but. I don't know if anybody else has any other.
So what was the total you wanted, that you're gonna potentially vote on?
So the total would be $100 per adult
Mhm.
and $50 per child to give to the individuals, and then do an additional 50 per individual, so it'd be 1350 total for the
Mhm.
for the individual gift cards, and then 900 total for the gift card to give to Elsa. And then I don't know if this is possible to vote on, if they're not there yet, but I don't know if we could say if other individuals come before Christmas, that we would be willing to give. It's very complicated.
Or,
It is, yeah.
the extra allocated that you're giving may compensate for this.
Mhm.
Registered.
And also, I mean, they can, I know they have one other organization that they've asked for support as well, so they may have a budget as well internally. So perhaps they can figure out what to do.
And a lot of times when we do things, there's always a deadline,
Yeah,
and even if you know that if it wasn't there, they're not counted. But it is nice to know that spirit of moment, someone shows up there. in a
Right, they're
position
not
to be
gonna
able to help.
take care of.
So even in our seeing the extra for the agency, maybe that verbiage could be echoed to them. You have it from them as well as someone who happens to enroll or be accepted. Feel free to be able to provide that.
So, which would be your job, and just the motion for, and I'll just say, just to help guide.
So I guess before I would put a motion on the table, a question for the commissioners. Since we don't know if any more adults or children might show up, would we want to also add on an additional amount in case more individuals show up at the shelter? And if they don't show up, it's just discretionary funds that they can use to help out future guests that stay there.
yeah, and I think what Gwen was saying is that extra 900 that we were giving would allow them to either get additional gift cards for the individuals who are coming in, or spend it at their discretion on
Okay,
gifts. So I'm okay with that.
okay. All right.
We want to take it up public comment.
Yes, so members of the public wishing to address the Homeless Commission on this matter, allocating funds to Casa de Notre Buena that live in the jurisdiction of the city of Seaside, may do so during a public comment period for up to 3 minutes.
Are there any members of the public who would like to make a public comment on this item before we take a vote? Raise your hand or press *9 on your phone. I don't see any indication of anybody wanting to make public comment, so then you can move forward. I just want to make sure I get it down clearly, what I'm gonna purchase.
So this would be allocating 2250, so $2,250 for the purchase of gift cards for adults and children at Casa and Notre Buena Family Shelter for purchasing goods on the holiday wish list.
Roll call vote. Oh, sorry.
Do I have a motion to accept this? Or do I have a first? Second?
Leslie, second.
And roll call vote?
Ben,
Aye.
Stacy,
Aye.
Leslie,
Aye.
Marilyn, Gwen.
Aye.
We have a unanimous decision, 5-0.
Very well. All right, moving along to item B, discuss and vote on purchasing a storage shed for Casa and Notre Buena Family Shelter. Recommendation is to provide direction to staff regarding the purchase of the storage shed for Casa and Notre Buena Shelter. How big of a shed? I guess that's my question. Would it be like a big size shed, like where they have cubbies, or is it just like a tool shed? What kind of shed would we be?
I believe
Purchasing.
Marilyn, did you bring this up or was it Linda sent me an email?
It was Linda, I think.
Okay, Linda brought this item forward. Because they were in need of a shed. They don't know if they have the space right now, so they finished renovating the backyard. So
Do they not
that's,
have one small shed in the backyard? Really sure they do.
there's one small shed. They said somebody pulled the fence down and built it inside for some of their items, but I think it's to bring some of the children's toys and some of their things that they don't have space for, and to get them out of the rain during the inclement weather.
So did they have an amount that they were looking for, or?
What's that?
Perspective, cards. They didn't have that.
No, I didn't get any further.
I wonder if we could put an item for the next meeting about the other potential uses of the committee's funds and request either members of the public or other organizations submit.
The other thing I was wondering is, could we go to Home Depot and ask them for a donation? Would that be possible? I think it's possible, right?
I think so too. That's very likely. They might donate.
Especially since it's here in Tucson. I'm happy to see if I can get anywhere with them, and call and ask. If they can manage to make a donation, although we would have to know the size. That would be something that's still have to be. Or maybe they'd be willing to donate up to $1,000 or something per shed.
Does anyone know about how much a shed costs?
They're pretty expensive, but they can.
Okay.
If you get one of the plastic,
Yeah.
that lasts a long time,
They're definitely over $1,000.
they're over $1,000.
Okay.
The other ones that have to be built and they have to have more of a foundation, be more of a challenge.
So I think it might be worth asking about a donation first, and then maybe we could discuss this at a future meeting. Would I have a motion to table this agenda item B, the shed for Casa and Notre Buena Family Shelter?
I wouldn't ask for the motion at the table of the voting until we get more details on the size and if we're able to get a donation.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Who was the second? Marilyn.
Very well. So roll call vote.
Roll call vote to table the item to purchase a shed for Casa de Notre, Buena Family Shelter. Until we have more information, we'll follow up with our commissioner who looked into this. Benjamin Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Peace,
Aye.
Leslie Dugan,
Aye.
Marilyn Mancini,
Aye.
Gwen Nash,
Aye.
unanimous vote, 5-0, it passes. We'll table the item.
Very well. Moving along to agenda item C, discuss strategic homelessness funding options. Recommendation is to provide direction for homelessness funding options. Did anybody have any thoughts on future options for how we can use our funding with the homeless committee?
I know that all in Monterey, I think some of us talked about that organization before. I know they're looking to sponsor some families for the holidays. They have over 25 families they're trying to sponsor here in Casa. I don't know if that's to do with our funding or our budget or not. Just want to throw that out on the table. All in Monterey.
Okay.
I think sponsoring the family can be what we want people to do.
So the item was that All in Monterey sponsors families
For the holidays, yeah.
for the holidays, and this is for their needs. For their,
Yeah, it's for the holidays, so I think it's a combination of probably Christmas gifts or gift cards for Christmas gifts, and then purchasing food for a holiday meal.
And would they be able to identify a family in Seaside? Which could receive?
And I believe so.
Is there any chance at all having an RV park in motorhomes in the
Well,
future?
well, we can, I'd say let's discuss that, but Leslie has something on the table right now.
Okay.
And so
Oh, she
you
does.
guys discuss whether or not you'd like to work with another agency that works with the unhoused. And see if there's some amount we're able to work through Leslie to find out who that family is and to be able to give them a certain amount of money, maybe not a lot, but a couple of $100 goes a long way if you have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I would be willing to vote on if we gave $100, if we did one family through them in Seaside for $100. Well, I was thinking, trying to make it kind of similar to what we did for Casa, Buena, so $100 per adult and $50 per child.
So what is the action item that you'd like to do?
Identify a family in Seaside. Choose that All in Monterey, that we could donate to All in Monterey to sponsor a family in Seaside for their whatever holiday. And then if we're not going to be able to meet again before, so I think we should vote on if you are able to identify that the Seaside Homeless Commission is willing to donate $100 per adult and $50 per child.
For up to one family.
Correct.
Okay. And then when we determine what that family is and how many like kids they have, we would come up with that dollar amount after voting on it.
Well, I think we're voting on right now that we would provide $100 per adult and $50 per child. So we don't know what the total would be, but whatever the total, we can set a limit.
Yes,
That's
Okay.
that's fair.
This is to $300 maybe. That would be two adults, or
2 adults, 2 kids.
400,
We'll say
2
up to
adults,
400.
2 adults, 4 children.
Yeah.
Not to exceed 400. Okay.
Not to exceed.
So it sounds like this is one item for the holidays that you want to try to move forward on, and one topic of discussion that you'll vote on at some point. And I know that Maryland had something else.
A question to this, is this a one-time discussion, strategic plan? One time that we're doing this, or we're implementing that we will do it ongoing annually?
I believe this is something we should discuss on an ongoing basis. You know, as needs arise and come up in our community, I believe we should continue discussing this and also reviewing the work plan. So did we have a motion right now?
Not yet, because I was trying to be clear on if this is just a one-time thing in this discussion, or we put it on the table that every year, we're implementing the day that we're gonna do it every year, or was it just this?
For the all.
And can I ask, how are you
For all
going
of
to
it.
choose a family? What exactly are you talking about? Is some homeless family that's in the area?
They've already chosen the families.
Pardon?
They've already chosen the families that they're sponsoring, and they're looking for
Who has?
organizations or people to sponsor the families.
All in organization has already chosen their family.
I think that's a good point. I would also request that they identify, if they're able to identify a homeless or at risk of homelessness family. Yeah, if they're not. So that All in Monterey has already, I think All in Monterey has already identified families that they're sponsoring for the holidays. And we are saying that we'll donate to one of them. We'll donate the money for them to sponsor the family. A family in Seaside who is homeless or at risk of homelessness.
Is there any other further discussion on this this item?
I think there's probably more discussion on the C item.
Yes.
But not on.
So this would be C part 1. Is there any further discussion on C part 1, providing sponsorship of up to $400 to a family through sponsorship with All in Monterey?
I make a motion that we provide sponsorship up to $400 for the all in support.
Very well. Is there a second?
I second.
Very well. Shall we do a roll call vote?
A roll call vote for Homeless Commission to sponsor a family up to $400 to a family that's homeless or at risk of homeless with All in Monterey, and Chairperson Mugen will connect with them to identify that family. Benjamin Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Feast,
Aye.
Leslie Mugen,
Aye.
Marilyn Mancini, and Gwen Nash.
All right,
Unanimous, 5-0 to sponsor a family.
Very well. Continuing on with item C, provide direction for homelessness funding. I did have a couple thoughts, and this is just having a discussion about it right now, not necessarily allocating money. I mean, we could decide to do that. But I had a couple thoughts. So one of them is mobile shower units. I know that there are some nonprofit organizations around here. I believe Salvation Army helps with showers for homeless individuals. And I believe that's in Sand City. But I've heard discussions, and it's been brought to my attention too, that some cities have designed these mobile shower units out of, I guess, old vehicles, old buses. And you can plug it into a fire hydrant and it has a fully functional shower and bathroom. And you could drive it around or park it, you know, in the community here. So I just wanted to open that up for discussion as far as, I don't know if we could help fund something like that or reach out or partner with somebody that could.
It is on our work plan, your work plan, and it does say mobile hygiene station, so I think
Okay.
that's on track with
And was there something from the city council that?
There's been discussion amongst city staff that we would like this commission to consider locations for one or two, depending on the cost. There are, as you know, throughout the city, there are portable restrooms. We try to move around the city to put in specific locations, especially downtown, where there's a lot of unhoused. They have a place to wash and wash stations and portable toilets. So it would be good for this commission to think about where we would want to have, maybe starting with one mobile hygiene. And I could look into the cost of that.
Would the city fund it outside of our homeless commission budget, or would it be part of our annual budget?
I believe, so I'm thinking that maybe our commission here can make a recommendation and send it up to the city council, and they can vote on allocating, the city's funds, the council's funds to purchase a mobile shower unit, mobile hygiene unit. I don't believe with this commission that I've worked with so far, I don't believe we've written any recommendations to the city council. Have any of you that have been on a while had work to do that yet? Done work?
So I would write that staff report with your direction and your ideas and thoughts. I would do that work.
And I do know that it is a doable thing in the city of Goreville, I believe, they actually function off of maybe working on the third or the second wheel, or however that one covers the shower and washing of their personals. So having a conversation with our team revisit, just to see what their funding and the possible budget would cost to have something like that.
So I guess I would motion, is there any further discussion on this specific matter?
So it sounds like that the city has asked us to identify locations. So I'm not sure if anybody has locations in mind, or if that's some research that we should do between now and our next meeting, or
And I would,
before then.
I would work with Derek and staff who work in the community with a lot of our unhoused to see where we best serve our unhoused because of lack of transportation. And where, public easements we could put, they're larger than the porta potties that are out there, where we could put them where they could be used, because we don't want somebody to walk miles to have to use a shower, so we can work on the best locations, if you want that to be the direction for city staff to identify locations, when help look into cost along with staff.
So would that also deal with zoning when we're looking at, is that an option? Because we're not going to be just placing.
Could be in a park. So I would look into that with code enforcement and city staff that have more knowledge about where we could put the portable showers. Our portable toilets are in parts of the city, but some of them are in the alleyways of the cities, on city property and not blocking businesses. So I would put staff time into figuring out where we could put those and what are the best locations.
The city doesn't have a mobile hygiene.
No, we contract for the portable toilets and sinks right now that are downtown on Broadway. But right now there are no portable hygiene or shower stations. And I do know, like Ms. Nash said, they're out there. So if that's a recommendation, then I'd like to, do some of the research on that. And bring it to, write a staff report once we get all the information and bring that forward to council for a decision.
Very well. So would I have a motion to table item C, part 2, writing up a staff report or a commission report for the council for purchase and location of mobile hygiene?
And I don't know that we need to table it. If you want to make that recommendation for staff to begin the work on it, then I can do that.
Oh,
With your
okay,
recommendation.
okay, so,
The only thing would be, it's not really been tabled, we'll go to council to make their final decision on the cost and whether or not they want that to happen, and where in the city, they may have other ideas, so.
So the motion is to request that the city look into location, best locations and more information about. And then you will reach out to your
Okay.
contact in Oregon.
So I want to be clear, our motion is to go forward with it, but in the meantime, we're doing the research. Please.
Yeah, to get more information, I think, yeah.
I believe this motion that we would vote on would be to start this process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do I have a motion to begin writing up the process for locating locations for a mobile hygiene and purchase?
I'm going to make a motion that we begin the process of writing the request for a mobile shower and as we gather the research information to validate.
Do I have a second? Very well. Shall we do a roll call vote?
I have a first by Nash and a second by Moody. Roll call vote to move forward on further research into a location cost of mobile showers and potentially a staff report to council to move forward on this process. Ben Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Faith,
Aye.
Leslie Mugan,
Aye.
Marilyn Mancini, and Gwen Nash.
Very well. It passes unanimously. Moving along, I'm going to go again. Item C, number 3. This is something that I'm kind of new to what I learned about. I guess there's a homeless education and family resource center here locally, and they for the Monterey Peninsula Unified School District, and they help with homeless foster youth or youth that are in a troublesome situation. And in doing research, I guess there's a category called the McKinney-Vento, where it helps make sure that students or young people have certain rights and availabilities within the education system. And from what I understand, I guess there's a large number of students in this category that live in Seaside. And I was just a question to anyone here today, are you guys aware of this?
Aware that, what?
I believe that there's a large amount of students
Oh, that are homeless?
in Seaside.
Oh, yes, yeah. It's more than what.
Okay, so I guess for discussing strategic homelessness funding options, I would like to do something to help these kids. And I just wanted to open it up to the commission about thoughts or ideas.
So it's the students? Homeless students?
Correct. And I don't know the specifics because I guess McKinley-Vento, it's a certain category and not necessarily all of them would be like unhoused or homeless. It could be foster youth or, living with someone that's not your parents or some kind of, a challenging situation for a young person going through school. So I don't know the specific amounts or anything. And this is like something that came to my attention recently. So I guess would like to discuss ideas about what can be done to help out these kids or what's already being done to help out these kids.
I know, just because we were there recently, Monterey High has kind of a store almost, but it's not a store, it's a room like this where they house food supplies and clothing and things like that they have for kids who might need food and clothing, things like that. There's also a washer and a dryer that they have accessible for the kids, things that they need to wash. So they've really tried to make things accessible to kids who may not And I don't know if that internship was just something that I heard of, that's one of the principles here is trying to create and ground solutions. For response.
Okay,
So that students have access.
right. And I, from what I'm aware in the short time I did research on it, I guess these kids, they're guaranteed to have a right to get school supplies. So I think they will get some help out from the school district, I believe, for getting school supplies. I'm just trying to figure out what other kind of needs might they have, like clothing, like food.
It would be interesting to bring in some folks from the schools and ask.
Or whoever it is.
Support what they're already doing.
Okay,
Because I'm thinking that the all-in-one, a lot of theirs are houses schools for that particular reason.
Yeah, I'm wondering if in Seaside High School area.
Yeah, because if I'm correct, all-in has the food bank and everything there for individuals in that situation. But whatever else the McKinney, I believe, project is offering, this is one of the things we can do to try to see what are they really facilitating and what they need here. But I do know through other conversations that there are more anxious children in our schools that were that was going on there. And she was privy to that information. So there is a need.
okay. Any other thoughts or comments on this?
I like the idea of maybe inviting somebody to come and talk to us about what they do.
Okay,
So maybe, I don't know then if you're willing to like reach out to, or see if you can find contacts. It
okay,
doesn't sound like anybody has a direct contact yet, so.
They
Okay.
also have in Monterey, community human services, they have Safe Passage, which is a drop-in center for children, I think up to 25. You know, like after school or something, if they have a place to go, they can go there. They also have a lot of needs for that. And the Village Project has a lot to do with that thing too, but I'm not exactly sure. Yeah.
So Ben, I can connect you with one of my contacts from NPUSD who would know specifically about services in the city of Seaside, so we can come full circle on. I feel vaguely aware of there being a pantry and something similar to what Leslie was talking about. So I can connect you with that person. And they can connect us with who can come and speak to us and give us more information about needs.
okay.
Yeah?
So do we need to vote or table anything on this topic, or is that just gonna happen for the next meeting maybe? Like something we can work on in the interim between meetings?
I think it can happen between meetings.
Okay.
For information gathering, and it can be on the next agenda to bring that representative here to speak if they can, or at least provide information to us or to you.
Okay, so that sounds like something, yeah, let's work on that in the interim and maybe they can be a guest speaker at our next meeting. So we don't need to make a motion or anything on any of that right now?
It's just
Okay.
conversation. So.
Okay, well then moving along, does anyone else, do any other commissioners or staff have any direction for homelessness funding options at this time?
Just listening to everything that's been said, even going back to Eloise's comment, I was wondering, even, she made the comment about vouchers for hotel, and then I looked at the fact about transportation. Even if we had a mobile, but a lot of times people are not in the vicinity where they could actually route to, but if there was means, and how would you even go about getting people transportation vouchers or whatever to get to where they have to go? But listening to her comment dealing with working somewhere about some vouchers over the hotel because it is getting cold, or some other avenues that we could give assistance where they're out there, and they're up under the tarps and things like that. So is there a way And I think the other portion to it as well, which some of us are familiar with, is a person's mentality is not to be inside of anywhere. And that's why some people are homeless, because they don't have a mind to want to do that. And so would our assistance on getting vouchers going into a hotel would really help if that's not what they're trying to do as well. But I do want to interject on the fact that the vouchers for somewhere to stay. Maybe transportation. I don't know how to transportation. Or funding or gift card or whatever.
So one of the things I guess I was made aware of recently, I believe there's some nonprofit organizations in the area that would give rides like transportation to the elderly in the community, like to doctor's appointments or shopping. And I guess something I can do to reach out in the interim is see if I can get connected with any of those folks that work there and see what they offer as far as transportation for homeless folks.
They have resource for us to know. where-
Right. Yeah, so I that's something I can do in the interim. Were there any other thoughts on homelessness funding options? Because this is our meeting where we talk about ideas and we hash it out.
I'm just gonna coach a little bit. We do, and they're not speaking to me so much as observing,
Okay.
but they're directly connected, Derek and Vic, with our community and the other house. That Gwen's idea about vouchers. I could work with city staff to see, if we could get vouchers for some of our residents that are in house because of the cold weather, and work with staff to see if we can provide that or try to get that program up and running. But that would be your direction for us to look into that. Because I've heard that twice, one from a community member and from Gwen, and I think it's a wonderful idea. To not just walk by our unhoused, but to maybe get them in a room for a period of time. I know we did that as a city when the mobile temporary encampment was set up for a year. Those that were living in cars were given vouchers for certain hotels for 2 to 3 weeks, up to a month. So if you would want to direct me to do some work with our team in the city, I could do that.
I say, let's do it. Would you like to make the motion?
Okay, I'm also sitting here listening to you. Everybody know about iHealth
Yes.
for women?
What is it called?
And iHealth,
I help. This organization.
what is it? It's an interfaith. It has, the acronym is iHealth, anyway. That all the churches take the people into them, the churches at night, and they have a meal. In fact, our church just stopped in to pick up on it. But I have been involved before with them at other churches and stuff. But they go, they have a good meal, they have a good night's sleep, and then they have breakfast the next morning, and then they have a bus.
And that's a good idea because what they do is they go into these set environments.
Yeah.
And who's ever facilitating them, they're responsible for the feeding and everything. And one of the organizations that I work with, they sponsor them. So once we know that they're there at that particular location, we prepare food. And our group actually, they'll make a menu and then we decide which individuals want to cook it. And then at said time, whichever, that facilitator at that particular location says we're feeding at such time, then we go and deliver the food to help with that particular program.
I'll remember that, because we were fixing all the food.
But I'm just saying, we need it, here in the community, so we
Yeah, I know.
collaborate together among ourselves and decide how we could be of asset.
But it's mostly all of the churches around. They picked them out. Yeah,
That is a
so
lot.
if you haven't heard about that, I mean, we should get the word out.
And I don't know if they have an agenda this meeting, a calendar, or schedule where they rotate around.
They do,
Okay,
yes, yes.
So that's something.
I know Boston was in charge, but I don't know who's in charge.
But they do feed, and they need assistance from the community.
Yeah.
Keep that
Yes.
going.
I can't remember the name of the lady.
Having assistance, maybe we should ask them. Potentially,
Sorry?
maybe we should ask them.
the representative.
Yeah,
will come and
someone
serve.
will share some information.
I have women or men or both.
Yes, those are the parts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we can have multiple people come and speak for a few minutes, ask them questions, and then the next person can speak and, and then the public that's watching, they can learn about organizations in our community. So I mean, we don't have to pick just one guest speaker, if there's work we can do, we can do it. I'm all for it. So I guess going back, did we want to do a motion to direct staff to look into the vouchers?
Well, I make a motion that we look into the vouchers as well as the other representatives for our health and England and see that this, taken care of.
Very well. Do I have a second?
Second. And that's, what? No.
And then shall we do roll call vote?
Taking notes as well.
Okay.
Doing 3 duties. Make sure I serve you well. So there can be a roll call vote
On the
on
vouchers
Oh.
and yes, everything.
moving forward on looking into vouchers for our unhoused and what that process would look like and the funding, and to have different representatives from organizations such as iHelp come and to impart all their wisdom on all the programs that they have within our community, so we know what's happening. And before Ben Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Pace,
Aye.
Leslie Mugan,
Aye.
Marilyn Mancini,
Aye.
and Glenn Nash. All right, 5-0, passed unanimously.
Very well. So we're still on item number C. Is the gavel loud?
Only
Sorry,
over there.
I'll move it back a little. So,
Very well.
discussing strategic homelessness funding options. Are there any other ideas from the commissioner staff to discuss at this time?
I wrote down here warming shelters. They had a warming shelter in Salinas at one time. In this area, we don't have a warming shelter to protect people in of the cold. Shelter for. Well, we have the iHealth, but that,
Is there a specific difference between a warming shelter and a regular shelter, just that there's more heating in it? Or it's temporary?
it's temporary, yeah.
I don't think they'll have to go through the strategic evaluation to get into temporary housing.
Yeah, right.
Shelter rent is something where they can fight for.
But yes,
But I don't know if that requires what you call management or anything like that.
I have no idea. They do it in Texas too. don't they? Warming shelter?
I normally do it, I'll check with city staff to see if we have any cooling / warming shelters. They're sometimes identified at senior centers or recreation halls, and this is when it's gonna drop, to really cold, or even during the summer when it's 100+, and you provide a place to shelter, charge a phone, and some water. So I'm not aware of any warming or cooling shelters in the city, but I should know that. So, and I can come back at the next meeting and provide that information. I know there are no shelters, like overnight shelters in the city of Seaside. I had that conversation today. Typically, there'd be an armory that would have, during the winters, sometimes there are armories that have staff that come throughout the county, and they staff it during the winters when it's cold. But right now, the city of Seaside does not have a winter shelter for overnight stays.
See what our options could be.
Do I have a second?
All right, so who is the first? Okay, and then is that who's second? Is that you? Okay, and direct staff to find out about any potential warming shelters in the city and come back to the commission with that information for you to
Or what it-
discover,
Or what it would take
to have one.
Something like that.
Okay, all right. So do a roll call vote on that. I just want to write this down, warming shelters. Okay, Benjamin Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Peace. Aye. Leslie Mugan. Aye. Marilyn Mancini and Gwen Nash. Passes 5-0 unanimously.
Very well. Continuing to discuss strategic homeless funding options. Or is there any further discussion on any topics that we have not yet covered to discuss homelessness funding options from the commission or staff? I guess we can move on to the next agenda item. Agenda item D, discuss changing the time of the regular meetings to 5:30 from 6:30. Recommendation, change the time of the regular meeting to 5:30 p.m. So I'm in support of this. I feel like with the time change that happened recently, it's getting dark a little bit sooner. And then we'll have, seemingly an extra hour in the day in the evening time for any other affairs we may have after the meeting. So I'm fine with changing the meeting times. Is there any just further discussion on this topic?
The meeting will be 5:30 and it will all be here, staying here.
I would let you know if they be in the council chambers here or on Zoom. It would depend on your availability.
I
So
believe,
I want to be where you want to be.
right, I believe this is just changing the time
Just the
from
time.
6:30 to 5:30.
Because they've been at 6:30 and that puts us into 8:30 at night. So, but I want to work with your schedules.
So is there any further discussion on changing the meeting time permanently to 5:30 p.m.?
I think it's a great idea.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to change the time of the meeting from 6:30 to 5:30.
Do you have a second?
So moved. I'll second.
Okay, I got a first from Stacy and a second from Marilyn. Okay, roll call vote. Benjamin Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Feast. Aye. Leslie Mugan. Aye. Marilyn Mancini. And Gwen Nash. Aye. All right, change the meeting time. And sorry, Ben, I just wanted to go back because I see that we have Eloise in the public and we never gave her a chance if she wanted to make public comment on item C, which was discuss strategic homelessness funding options. But Eloise, we wanted to give you an opportunity, if you're still there, to raise your hand. There it is. All right, Eloise, we're here for you.
Okay, well, thank you. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, but yeah, I think I heard you saying that you were going to think about putting that initiative forward to the council about the voucher program. Because like I say, today I don't get out that much early in the morning, but I did see some young men, say between 20 and 40 years old, that in my mind, they're probably homeless. And I think it would be a good idea to, have some vouchers from nearby hotels to give them, if it's possible, because the weather is getting cold and they don't have anywhere to go. And I don't know who could, facilitate it, maybe the Seaside PD or somebody, but I'm worried that they're going to get sick and, die or something. So it just seems like it's important that that we reach out with these people who maybe they don't want to go to a church, or they don't know about a church, or they don't want to go to a homeless shelter for some reason. like sometimes those homeless shelters, they can be territorial and they get in fights and things like that. And then they feel like they can't go there. And then they're just out in the street. So I think it would be nice. And it would give an opportunity for like the Seaside PD to kind of, I don't know, reach out to people who are just, they seem like they need help on the street. It's usually men, you know, young men, I notice. So anyway, thank you for accommodating my idea. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Eloise. Any other members of the public that would like to make public comment on item C or D? Please raise your hand or press the option 9 on your phone, star 9. Don't see any other participants, so we can go ahead and move forward.
Very well. So moving forward to item number E, receive presentation from committee member Gwen Nash, Worldwide Outreach Services. Recommendation, receive presentation. Can we just vote? Do I have a motion to receive the presentation?
Just gotta give it first, right? Just the opportunity to give you the information you provided me on all the good work that you're doing out there. I don't expect a power.
I have my brochures, I just sent them out. You can look at them at your leisure. Those have business.
Gwen has
cards.
been doing incredible work with an organization that touches the unhoused. So I wanted to give her an opportunity to share with this group and with the public, the work that she's doing.
But I thank you for the opportunity. I'm a representative, founder of World Outreach Services, and we've been actively in our phase 1 of homeless feeding program, and we partner with a few churches in the community, Greater Victory Temple, Hayes, C&E, and the Seaside, CAB, 7-Day Adventures. And they send volunteers where every Friday we actually come together starting at 7 p.m. And if you look at our website, just noted there, you'll be able to see how we have pictures and everything, how we actually get out there. We do kits. They contain warm breakfast sandwiches, fruit, pastry, water, sanitary hand wipes, and things like that to give to them. And our goal was to give breakfast, even though we know there may be other agencies that provide it, but we actually go out into the community and deliver to where they may be housed out there in the community. So we have volunteers that come in every Friday in the certified kitchen. They warm the sandwiches, Jimmy Bean, sausage, egg, and cheese croissants, and we give the banana or whatever else that is that we're being donated to by one entrepreneur here in the community. They give to us $1,000 a month to see this effort goes forward. But at the same time, it's huge because when it comes to the gas and the individual vehicles that are going out, we have, well, my goal is 2 vehicles to go out through the city, but right now everyone uses their own vehicles to ensure that we're able to go out there. We feed 100 unhoused every Friday. So we're covering 400 per month. And with that said, they come in at 7 to 8 o'clock. It cooks to 8 to 9. Anybody that would like to volunteer an hour actually comes in and we pack the kits. And then from 9 o'clock to 10:30, we're out there, be it from Seaside, Sand City, Fort direction when they were there, but there's still a few out there in that area. Then we go down toward the beach, the transit area. They're just out there everywhere. And even when we see them walking on the street, we stop and give it to them. They're just excited to receive what we have. And I'm not just the founder, but I'm out there in the trenches myself, handing out the packages of the gift bags, and just to see the relief of getting a cup of water, a glass of water, something to eat is just so rewarding just for the service itself. So our goal is to do that. And then every third Friday, we actually feed the hungry or those that are in need. So this Thanksgiving, we gave out boxes through the help of the food bank. However, we're getting ready and geared up to give out for Christmas again, because a lot of times if they had the money, the hungry, if they have a kitchen, they may need it for light bill versus buying dinner. So we're able to secure that, but right now we're trying to get turkeys, to be able to give out to those families which are 50, to be able to secure that. But we're evolving and, we're just moving right along, and we're just looking for more volunteers and any donations that would help with the gas. We strategically created a map of how we actually circle or service the city. So I don't have the mileage with me, but I can get the chart for you, so you can see where we're covering, how much mileage and how much gas that takes us as an individual. One of my goals is to actually facilitate the fire department, police department, and other agencies that are security that don't mind giving us an hour or two on Fridays that would actually be deliverers. That will actually, because we have set routes that we go to, and it doesn't change. But if we see anybody at the traffic light or whatever, they have a sign that we also service them. So typically that's our goal. We have other things that we desire to do to help in our community, but right now in our phase one, feeding the homeless and feeding programs is our target. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. We would not have known why did that.
So I have a question. How long have you been doing this?
Well, nonprofit outreach, ever since I was 23 years old. However, through the travel, be it in Hawaii, Georgia, whatever community I've been based in, I've always resurrected the outreach. So here in Seaside, we've been operating as far as fundraisers. We do what we call the Red Dress Contest, and we have the community come in, and we have judges and all that, and get trophies. But the participants actually see a donation so that we can raise funds to have operating capital. There, so we do that once a year. The next one coming up is in February. And so as far as the feeding program here in this community has been going on since June.
Okay, that's amazing.
And we work every Friday, 7 a.m. to about 10:30. So you don't have to say, I'm gonna work 4 hours, if it's just 1 hour, one Friday out of a month that you want to come and support a good time. We will let someone know they like to give community service, would be greatly appreciated. Also, the Casa deal, how you say it, the Notre? I call it Casa. Once we did the walkthrough, I was able to interface with the coordinator where we actually take them 15 breakfasts every Friday so that they can be fed throughout.
So where do you meet?
At Great Victory Temple Church in their certification.
And the contact information.
Yes, they are. And even on the website, there's a place where you can email information. You are awesome. And I know people's time is very valuable, so a lot of times they don't want to commit to something that they can't do. That's why I offer, if you said first Friday, second Friday, third Friday, I'll be there, give an hour, it's appreciated. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for sharing. And any other questions on Gwen's presentation?
Are there any members of the public that would like to make a comment on item E regarding Gwen Nash's Worldwide Outreach Services presentation? Raise your hand or hit *9 on your cell phone. I see no members of the public that would like to make comments. So take the roll call vote to receive her presentation.
Very well. Do I have a motion to receive the presentation?
Oh, sorry.
A motion, do we have to make a motion on that?
Yeah.
So we'll just vote to receive it then? Okay.
Yeah.
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote. Ben Strickland,
Aye.
Stacy Feast,
Hi.
Leslie Mugan,
Hi.
Marilyn Mancini, and Gwen Nash.
You want to say
Typically, I would have put it under presentation, so I guess I get a new staff liaison.
Very well. So moving along to reports from commissioners. Let's see, Commissioner Mancini, did you have anything to report for today's meeting?
Yes, I do. All right, speaking of Casa, the Notre Buena, I donated my Christmas tree that we haven't been using for like 2 years. It's like a 6-foot tree. It does have lights on it. Anyway, they're working on putting it up, but they have some decorations. So I'm putting it out to anybody that has decorations that they're not using to bring them to Casa. Buena. I know a lot of people have extra that they don't need, and I know one of the girls from knitting did take a whole box over here, so if anybody else has anything, they've got a 6-foot tree they need to decorate. But I mean, if you're gonna have Christmas, you need to have it, in my opinion. And so, yeah, and I'm working with those scarves and everything. That's my project.
Yeah.
And this will be my last meeting. My term is up.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. So I'm saying goodbye to everybody and hello to everybody and I'll see you whenever. And do anybody else?
Commissioner Mugen, do you have anything to report?
After our tour, I asked Buena where the topic of transitional housing came up, and that was an issue in the community, we don't have much of it. But somebody had mentioned the Salvation Army does that. So I called the Salvation Army and I asked them if they would be willing to kind of share what's happening in the community, with the idea that it'd be good for us to be aware, but also potentially if there was something that we could do to support either the city staff or the council or whatever would work. And they would be willing to come to the meeting. So I told them I would call them next week if we were open to having them on the agenda in there.
Okay. Is it too late to add that to anything we can vote on, Chief?
You can just, once you get that information, forward it to me. Next meeting is January 27th, and then I'll build out the calendar for next year. But January 27th is at the bottom, but we don't need to vote on that one.
Okay.
If you would like to have a presentation, send that item to me.
So I should ask them if they're available. on
Yeah, the
27th?
27th.
Do we have a schedule for this?
Well, the 27th, that is 2022. So sorry about that. I will send all those dates out to you.
Okay.
I'll put it on my to-do list.
Okay, great.
Very well. Commissioner Nash, do you have anything to report?
Not at this time, just wondering. Things were, after the time.
Very well. Commissioner Peace?
I don't have anything to report, but I wanted to make a suggestion that we put on our agendas moving forward, kind of a standing item to review the work plan and then check off what we addressed at each meeting. So we actually checked off a lot tonight, which is great. We've already been referencing it, but so I guess I would volunteer to make notes on what we've already addressed and send that out to the group. And then maybe next meeting and future meetings for the year, we can review it at the beginning of the meeting and then what we're going to address and then. Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and when we do, when we kind of work together, you know, you and I with staff for crafting the agenda before the meetings, we can just be sure to add on there to review and discuss the work plan each time. So I think that that should cover it. I guess it's on to me for what I can report. So just bear with me 1 second while I look it up. So it's this is what I understand. So I'm sure all of you are aware of the local coalition of homeless services. I've been notified, and a lot of other leaders in the community have been notified that there's grants. It's community development block grants. I guess the next grant cycle is coming up. I believe it's a 2-year period, and it starts, you know, it'll be starting next year, but there's some important dates to keep in mind. And one of them happens to be tomorrow. So if you know anyone that's part of a nonprofit organization that wants to apply for funding for these block grants. Tomorrow, there's a mandatory Zoom meeting that you guys have to be on. Can I share that Zoom ID in this meeting? Is that something that I can do, or?
I don't see a problem with that.
Okay, so the Zoom ID is 8890-2239-485. I'll repeat that number again. The Zoom ID number is 8890-2239-485. That's tomorrow, December 10th, 2021 at 11 a.m. It's a mandatory meeting for anybody that wants to apply for these block grants. So any of the public that are watching or anyone here, if you know anyone that's part of a nonprofit that helps with homeless in the community, could be a food kitchen, shelter, anything like that. The next cycle for these block grants is coming up, and there's a mandatory meeting tomorrow. I believe that's all I have to report, and that would conclude reports from commissioners. Moving along, are there reports from staff?
My report is, I just want to acknowledge this group and the hard work. I know it's been tough over the last year, doing it via Zoom, and it was your idea to get face to face again. So city staff, our city manager and council are happy that we're meeting in person. They encourage it, and they know we can get more work done. I'm excited because I have a giant list of things to do, which keeps me motivated, and I can work with our city staff. So you guys are doing a really, really good job, and I know it's been tough. So thank you for your work. We are, the fire department in the city, we're doing a toy drive. I was inspired by Gwen to make sure that we give toys to our in-house children and families, and to any family that needs it in our community. So the fire department is collecting toys. We'll give it to our local churches, to include Greater Victory, which is across the street. I've already delivered through our commission and the city and the fire department toys to the Casa de Notre, Buena. So it's important that you see that your public servants are doing work. And what we do, the fire department on the holidays, we actually drive around and give toys to children on calls. When you're in somebody's home, you often see what they do and don't have, and a lot of people don't have. So we actually bring toys to homes when we identify families. So if you'd like to donate a toy, or if you see a need, please contact me personally, and I'll be sure to try to get toys delivered to you. And on that note, since we're at closing, I just want to make sure that I thank you guys. The fire department has a tradition of getting, they're called challenge coins. You have to earn a challenge coin. This is on behalf of the city and the fire department. And we want to thank you for all your hard work, Marilyn. This is also in the military, which Ben is probably very well
I was
aware.
going to say, I owe you a Navy challenge coin now.
So this is a way of saying thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
For everybody. Thank you.
Nice.
That works, comes with the territory.
All right, so that's the end of my report.
The position.
Okay, so moving along to adjournment, it says here moment of silence in honor of Lanny Olis, and what I wanted to do was adjourn in honor of Lanny, and I wanted to just say a few words. So Lanny Olis, he passed away a little over 2 months ago. Lanny was deeply involved in local politics and volunteering in the city of Seaside. He served as a commissioner for the city of Seaside boards and commissions, was a top contender for being appointed to the Seaside City Council, and he brought together hundreds of Seaside residents with the My Seaside Posse Facebook page. Lanny was one of the nicest people I've ever met in Seaside politics. He cared really deeply for our city and all the people in it. He was a role model to all of us who set an example we should all follow: community first. Lanny will be remembered and missed by all, and I would just encourage anyone that knew him or knew his family to just maybe reach out during this holiday season and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And I would like to motion to adjourn in honor of Lanny. Do I have a second? All right, all in favor, say aye for adjournment. Aye. This meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
Nice work. Made a difference meeting together. What?